Hello and welcome one and all. Welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. I sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well out there whenever you click on to this video. If you are brand new here, welcome to the community. If you have already subscribed, then of course, welcome and thank you for your support. So today I thought what we would do is channeling the Great Mother Gaia, whom I call the original goddess. I have the heart out here because I think everybody needs a little extra love right now on the planet. And we have a lot of divine feminine energy coming in and rising up. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to get involved and channel right from the horse's mouth, as we say, or right from the Great Mother, the original goddess, Gaia, Mother Nature herself. So we're going to get you as many messages as we can for channeling and healing and activation. And for those of you who have been here before, you know that we always have a healing candle in the sessions for healing, releasing, activation. I made this beautiful healing and abundance oil, also bringing an abundance to you. I made this abundance oil under the full moon many moons ago. It was actually under the eclipse too. So however you want to use the session is completely and totally up to you. So as always, we have 3 piles. I wanted to use this beautiful green witchcraft tarot today because I felt like with channeling, I was going to say Mother Mary, but in essence it's sort of the Great Mother, the same energy coming through. But to channel the Great Mother Gaia, I figured green witchcraft would be an excellent tarot that we can use today. So for pile 1, we have this really cute little old time video recorder for a Barbie, but I thought that was a really great icon to use for seeing things differently, remaining, coming out of your narrative, your story. So what that represents. So that's pile 1. And then we have keys to unlock whatever it is that you want to unlock. That's on pile 2. And then we have this beautiful jewelry, costume jewelry here, vintage jewelry on pile 3 to remember that you are a gem yourself. So as always, take as much time as you possibly need. Ground into your energy. The more aligned you are with yourself and your intuition, the more these beautiful readings actually will resonate with you and the more healing and activation that you'll get. So if you have to go ahead or feel as though you want to go ahead and pause the video and just take a breath and do this on your own terms, please do feel free, obviously, to do exactly what you need to do at this time and in every moment in your life. So let's move this on. I'm going to move pile 2 away for now and the beautiful jewel on pile 3. So if you chose pile 1, this really quirky but cute little video recorder as a reminder to record your life, record the memories, or step out of the narrative of the story that you've told yourself before. However it is that you see it, then these are your messages from the Great Mother Gaia, or the original goddess. So we're going to start with the Green Witchcraft Tarot, and then we'll move in and get you some other messages. So we have the city, I never know how to say that properly, and my ancestors are from that part of the world, and I was born there, so I should know. The city, it's the fairy witch here coming in, and that is a beautiful message of getting back to your magic, your own personal magic. There's been a lot of that coming up recently. We'll get into that. Yeah, and your power coming in. We've got the Ace of Chalices here, the Ace of Cups, and that is reversed. So messages from, I should really look that up. I'm kind of embarrassed that I don't know how to say that, but you know, we're all human here, right? None of us are perfect. So it's really definitely about, the first thing that I'm picking up for you, pile 1, is definitely about getting back to your own magic and honing in on your own magic, infusing it in your day-to-day life and slowing down and really understanding how energy works for you, and also understanding your path, how energy has worked for you in the past versus how it's working for you now. Everybody has their own system of energy. Yet we have the laws of attraction. There's certain ways that things work, but even within those realms, there's certain ways that we can move in and around it and work within our own energy. And this is really about really figuring out how your energy works and your connection, not just to the Great Mother or to divine energy, to the cosmos, to the world, to the universe, to Gaia herself, but really to how that reflects within you. Who do you represent? This is about you standing in your own power and really understanding that that power comes from ancestors, the beautiful wisdom that you've brought in from previous lifetimes. Now, a lot of you, this is real talk here on, in Pile 1, and this is what we do for you. We give you real talk, but we do it in a way that's not judgmental because we want you to be the best that you possibly can be. Now, a lot of you have been riding and then skating a little bit, and this is the reason why. So these are general messages. So if this part of the reading doesn't resonate with you, all good, stick around for the rest of it. But you've come in with ancient wisdom. A lot of you have come in with ancient wisdom, and you know that wisdom. It's provided a certain amount of, not necessarily grounding for you, but a certain amount of foundation for who you are. And people sense that from you, and it's very powerful. But here's the thing. You've not really integrated it as much as you can in this lifetime, so it grounds you into this lifetime. The vision that I keep getting for a lot of you in Pile 1 is that 1 foot in this world, 1 foot in another world. Now, there's nothing wrong with working in other realms. I do it all the time. Most of the people I know do it all the time. That's wonderful. But you've got to be grounded firmly in this lifetime in order to have a fruitful kind of meditation or getting out there and working with other realms. You need to remember that we came here to be human. Yes, a lot of you are star seeds, a lot of you were not previously human, but you've come here to have a human experience, and a lot of you have had a lot of in and out about how that's been quite difficult for you, quite understandably. It would be very much less difficult for you if you ground into that ancient power and integrated it and worked with it in this lifetime in a slightly different way. Now, a lot of you have had aspects of your life where you've been really into the natural element and your own magic and working with your own energy. There's nothing said against that. You've definitely done that before. But staying consistent is probably not your forte. And that's fine because you've got this beautiful mind that goes here, there, and everywhere. You're picking up this book, you're doing this, you're doing that. You're extremely talented in many different directions. And a lot of you feel as though you want to go off in every single direction and pull all of those experiences in. And that's a beautiful part of your personality. Absolutely gorgeous. And we don't want you to change any of that. But it's forfeited you a little bit of the grounding and an extra foundation that you can have in this lifetime. And your power comes directly from your magic, how you use your energy specifically. Yes, we are all one. You can see each other. You can see yourself in another. We're all mirror images of each other. All of that is true, but we've all come here with unique gifts in order to be able to serve the world at large. And this is a very specific time in nature, in the timeline of the human existence, to come down in this lifetime, in this generation, to do some great work. So your uniqueness, how it is, all of your wisdom that you've gathered is absolutely needed in this lifetime, and it's needed by you to be able to gather the old wisdom and filter it through your experiences in this lifetime, to be able to help people in this lifetime, and to be able to heal other people from generations back, healing back from past lives. But you can only do that if you really understand the power of who you are and filter it, as we've said before, to reiterate, filter it through your experiences in this lifetime. And that's something, real talk, Pile 1, you've not been really wanting to do. You've been avoiding it a little bit. And You know, most of you realize that this is important work. For those of you who are sitting here and resonating with this, you already know this work. Your guides have been trying to get in touch with you. You've been having crazy dreams of late, really vivid. Your visions have been really specific, either in meditation or in the real world. You know, maybe the way in which you see the world, even colors, auras, things have been changing. You've been accelerating with ascension in the last 6 months. Everybody's been going through it, but yours has been tenfold. All of this should be applying to you. So you absolutely know that the last piece of the equation, as it were, to really hone in your power and to really accept your humanness in this lifetime, because for a lot of you it's been very difficult. You've not really understood why you're here. You understand your power. You do understand it. You may have been slightly afraid of it, but you've gotten over that a little bit. But you understand that you're powerful. You understand, even if you didn't understand that you're powerful, the way in which people treat you led you to believe that you were powerful, because people have treated you a certain way throughout your lifetime. They either want something from you because they sense your power, or they're intimidated by you, or they're jealous of you, one way or another. The people have been treating you that way. So you've sensed that people are sensing something about you. So you know something is there, whether you want to react to it or not. So you absolutely know that you're powerful. You absolutely know that you came in with these unique gifts. You can sense the wisdom, and you absolutely know that you're very connected to ascended masters, and you are very connected. If you haven't been throughout your life, I would say in the last 6 months to 18 months, very connected to your ancestor bloodline, connected past lives, that sort of thing. So this you know. But it's about stepping up in this lifetime and seeing what you can do with that wisdom and taking it not to the next level, taking it to the level. That's why you're here. That's the message from the Great Mother Gaia. And let me tell you, you're ready. You've been ready for a while, and you know that you've been ready. The one thing that I've been saying, if you've been going through my videos of late, especially in the last month or so, the one thing that I keep repeating is there's nothing more to heal. You might have to release some stuff. There might be some tweaking in the way that you see things and with the energy, and definitely some releasing. But everybody's done the work of healing now. Don't fall into the trap of going back and trying to heal stuff that doesn't need to be healed. You've done the work, and you know that you've done the work. A lot of you are so used to going back and constantly healing stuff and going through stuff and tearing it apart and looking at it and figuring it out and moving through it, because you're old souls and you came in with a lot of heavy karma. So a lot of you are actually feeling as though, you know, it's kind of strange that I do feel as though I'm on this new plateau where I kind of have healed, but I'm not really where I want to be yet. I don't quite understand why. So some of you might be going through a little bit of doubt, trying to figure things out, don't really understand why, but at the same time knowing that feeling that the healing's kind of done. If stuff's coming up for you, you know that it's not integrated into the soul anymore. It just needs to be released, or there's one last little lesson for you, but again, not going down the rabbit hole of healing anymore. So this is where you need to be. You know you're ready for this. Let's get you some more information here. We have you know what? I'm feeling this one. I have a couple of oracle decks on the side here, and as we go through them, I'm really feeling the earth magic for you, Pile 1. Get you some more information. Again, we're channeling the Great Mother Gaia, the original goddess. We're getting you some healing, and we're also working with the healing and the activation for you, Pile 1 too. Not Pile 1 2. Pile 1 as well. So we understand that there might be some heaviness coming up, and it's just old stuff that's coming up. Again, it just needs to be released. So for those of you who are feeling as though they're sort of walking through mud, heaven forbid, feeling as though you're walking through quicksand, but deep down knowing that you're not going to go under. There's times in your life where you felt like you were walking through quicksand and you were going to go under, but that's nowhere near what you've been feeling anymore. I'm not surprised that you chose this this too, because this is a way for you to really understand the narrative narrative, the stories that have been told in and around you. I feel as though a lot of you have been the sort of person that people have projected upon. There's been a lot of stories that have been projected upon you about who you were. You may have taken on some of that, and some of you at some point may have taken on some of those identities because they were projected so vehemently, upon you so many times. You just figured that, people knew what they were doing, but they didn't. They saw what they wanted to see. So separating the narrative, separating your storyline from, what we call reality, which is just you being a divine figure. That's something that you will be doing. You're also storytellers. Whether you're oral storytellers, or you write things down, or the way in which you articulate yourself just in general. I keep feeling, again, these are general messages, so if this doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't. But for some of you thinking about being a podcast, your aura and your energy, filling people in, telling the old stories, or telling stories that need to be told, maybe that are kind of out there, but don't have your spin on it. Absolutely, these days it doesn't take that much. I don't know too much about it. I took a little course, but it doesn't take too much equipment to set up with a really small podcast to do all of these things. Not asking you to get into debt to do any of this stuff, but urging you to take the next step and put your voice out there. You're definitely storytellers. Let's see what we've got. Poets, you can tell a story by painting. You can tell a story by acting. You bring in your own version of who that character is. Rebirth, spring equinox, absolutely. Now this is, I also, the way in which we get into this trap of constantly feeling as though we need to heal, I'm going to reclaim the word rebirth. I don't think you need a rebirth, but we're not saying anything against this card. This card is absolutely gorgeous. All you need to do is to allow in the energy that already exists and to acknowledge it. That's something that you don't always do. You have a very, very busy mind, and for most of you, you're very happy to put aside whatever it is that you're thinking and just go in a direction that takes you off. You can be very easily distracted, and you do that on purpose. But when you're extremely focused, nothing can move you from that. It's almost like you get so intense, for some of you might even over focus, but that's okay. You've really learned your lesson with perfectionism. So most of you are recovering perfectionists, and that's totally fine. I'm right with you, saying the perfectionist prayer, whatever that is. We'll make it up together. But when you do really get into what it is that you do, when you do that writing, when you do that podcast, that's when the perfection comes out. That's when every word matters. That's when the freedom and the flow comes in. But the perfectionist comes out, and that's exactly where it should be. So you've really been working with that, and it's been absolutely amazing. Whereas the perfectionist tendencies tended to before all over in every aspect of your life, and you could never ever, nobody could ever hope to even achieve any of that stuff. I mean, you put yourself so much pressure on yourself in every aspect of your life. It was ridiculous. So you've come through that, you've healed that. There's a little bit of remnants still in there, just a tiny bit, but that's okay because you focus that perfectionism and you can make it work for you. And also when you know that you're over focusing on your work and you're like, all right, this is getting a little too crazy, you can pull back now. But this is just you stepping into your main power of focus in this lifetime. You've put yourself through so many situations in this lifetime voluntarily. Why would you not create wisdom from all of those situations that you put yourself into? Meld it with the ancient wisdom you came in with. And that is true power. Power that will ground you into this lifetime, that will celebrate you being human. And then once you dedicate yourself to truly being human, you will be able to be the success that you want to be. You can't be the success that you want to be when a part of you wants to leave this world. Not physically, necessarily at all, but a part of you doesn't understand it and doesn't want to be a part of it. Well, this is the way you can reclaim your power and get back into the world and change it the way you want to. Synergy, green man, absolutely. And we are channeling the great mother Gaia, original goddess, and you got the green man. It's all coming back to ancient wisdom and bringing it back with the wisdom that you have in this lifetime, which is what's needed, because the tweaks that you will make with all the experiences that you've had in this lifetime will speak to many. That's the way people need to see things now. In many ways, you've not been quite flexible as you could have been, but the way in which you see the world is quite flexible. You really take people as they are. You give people space, you give people empathy, you give people space to be themselves. In that way, you're very flexible. So when you bring in the knowledge of who you are and what you know, you're able to adapt it so easily. So people will be able to get it and understand it in a brand new way and appreciate it on a new level. And of course, thereby, you feel connected by the work that you're doing, because you're doing it on the level that you want to be doing it on. And you get that firm grounding foundation right into your soul that grounds you into the human experience that you don't really have here. Right now, you're half starseed, half human, you know. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have come here to have the human experience. And Mother Gaia wants you to have the human experience. Yes, it's full of heartache. Yes, it's full of rage at times, but it's also full of joy and beauty, inconsistency and gorgeousness. And you can't have the whole gauntlet of all of that until you hone into the understanding that you're human in this lifetime. All right, let's see. I'm feeling a little whimsy here. I don't see unicorns as whimsy because they do exist and they're absolutely gorgeous. But I'm feeling the unicorn cards here for some extra energy of pulling in the magic, getting back into the other realms, bringing in the other realms, and you know, and really enlightening yourself up and bringing in your energy. So surprise, look for the unexpected today. So when you have this reading today, whenever you click on this reading, I want to do one more. Pegasus, open your heart to love and joy. Absolutely. Now, that's just because you're 1 foot in this world, 1 foot in your old world or starseed world. So it's when you people shut themselves down out of protection, and that's totally fine. And with everything that you've been through with the karma, it's totally understandable. But once you ground into your actual energy again, and deposit that energy everywhere you go, then your heart will automatically expand. And that's when you can have the beauty and the joy of what it is to be human. Yes, it's fleeting in many ways. We don't know when we're going to go. We don't know how long we're going to last. Anything can happen at any moment. But that can be the joy of living in every single moment. Slow down. Really understand your energy and how it's worked for you. Celebrate everything that you've been through, every uniqueness that you have. And again, look for that surprise when you're activated today after this reading, and do let me know in the comments below if anything, people got in touch with you that you didn't expect, if you got a little message here and there, something that was rather unexpected. It doesn't have to be big. It can be, it can be incidental in some ways, but something that surprises you, something that sort of comes out of nowhere, just because you're living in this sense of wonder, which Mother Gaia wants you to get back to. And it's really easy for you to get back to once you come back into your understanding again of infiltrating all of that information that you have and grounding it into your source energy in this lifetime. All right, I want to do one more here. I am feeling the Ascended Masters. I think I picked this one up before. But I'm feeling the Ascended Masters for you just for a little extra information here, but it's quite clear what you need to do, and I hope that we've given you the support to do it. Again, to reiterate, please don't go down the rabbit hole of trying to heal. There's nothing to do. If anything, you're seeing your life as a movie, pulling it all in and integrating all the beautiful blessings that your energy and your circumstances, whatever it is that you've been through, has awarded you, and applying that to your uniqueness and what you already know. And then that will ground you into this lifetime, and you've got some success coming in here. Whatever it is that you do, you'll be known for it. So it's just a matter of just staying with who you are, slowing everything down, cutting out the drama that's coming into your mind. For those of you who have had a lot of clutter in your mind, slow it down, go for a walk, do the meditation. A lot of that clutter is universal stuff. You know, the world coming in, take that out so you can get right back into you. Okay, you got life force. Express your driving passions. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. So this really is, you've got green man energy. You've got this coming in with the life force too. You know, and this is all about you expressing, yes, and driving, express your driving passion. And this you can do with an authentic voice. This is all about coming back to your authenticity by melding your experiences again with your ancient wisdom and really shining in your authenticity without apology. This is who I am. If you don't like it, off you pop. Other people will be here. And yeah, and it's also going to be clearing out for good your first and second chakra, your creative chakra. We talked about being a storyteller, getting that energy out there, getting your stories out there. They're absolutely needed. They are universal stories, but the way in which you tell them has a unique spin on them that people will really resonate with. All right, so we have Isis. Magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming a reality. Stay focused. So I just want to show you these two. To me, they're exactly the same. Coming back into your own magic here, really understanding how your energy works, how it works. You know, not necessarily with spell work. You can call it spell work. You can call it abundance or manifestation. How your particular energy works. You're very in tune with your own energy when you allow yourself to be. Slow down. Get very in touch with your energy and your own magic. Discover the power behind your own magic, and that again will ground you into who you are. You will always be learning and forgiving yourself and forgiving others and finding out. You're very inquisitive, so you'll always have an inquisitive mind, but what you know right now is enough for you to move forward in the way that you want to. In fact, you have the sort of foundation of what you want and who you are. All the information that will be coming at you in the next couple of years will just really be solidifying and deepening your knowledge that you already know. Maybe shifting it in slightly different directions, but when you bring in all the information, you will really find that it all comes back to one source. So a lot of magic making here, a lot of getting back to your own energy and getting back to the natural sense of who you are and your own magic, fusing that with your ancient magic, getting your storylines out of there, bringing your power back, pulling yourself back into the human existence and enjoying every moment of it. And look for that surprise today too. Again, it could be seemingly incidental, something that you weren't expecting, but look for that today or in the next 24 hours after you have been in and around this energy. So I hope this resonated with you and we gave you a little bit of healing and activation and some advice and support of how to move forward in the way that you truly want to. And sending so much love and light to you with Mother Gaia here. And do not forget that we also have the Unicorn School of Light down below. We have a link with courses for you. One of them is a free course and the other two courses are, we keep everything incredibly low because we know that people don't have a lot of money right now, and that's really important that you take the course versus making money. That's not what this is about. So really, really check out the courses. If any of them feel good to you, intuition, go ahead and click on it and take it if you feel like that's the way you want to be. And for those of you who are desperate to take a course but really do not have the money, just cannot do it, I have my email down below. I would rather that you take the course and do it versus not do it because you can't afford it. So you can always email me and we can work out either a payment plan or whatever it is that you can afford, or taking it for free if you can't afford it. Like I said, we're really here for you to get that information. So feel free to use that email and reach out to me if that's where you're at and you're really getting called to be part of that course. We just want you to have the information and just to get all the support that you possibly can. That's all we really want for you. So take care. Sending so much love and light to you. Seriously, Pile 1. Until we meet again, stay safe and sane. Bye-bye. Okay, Pile 2, if you chose the keys to unlock whatever it is that you want to unlock, then this is your reading. Don't forget we have the beautiful healing candle here. Do with it, with the energy, whatever it is that you feel called to, whether you're releasing or bringing in abundance and healing. It's totally up to you. And as a reminder, we are channeling the great Mother Gaia, whom I call the original goddess. And we are using the Green Witch Tarot for the beginning here, the foundation of your reading. And then we will just be organically moving around here and seeing which oracles want to speak to you and give you more of a message. So let's see what we have. The Eight of Chalices. You have the Eight of Cups. And then you have the Five of Wands. Okay, so there's a few different things coming up. Let me also, I'm being called to the unicorn cards here as an extra message. And this one is coming, Divine Sight. Okay, see the divine in everyone. All right, so I want to show you this too. So the main message that I'm getting for you is to unlock, so the phrase that I keep getting is unlock your privilege. Now that's a triggering word for a lot of people right now, especially in the world today. But it's also unlocking a little bit of the energy in pile one, but although very different energy, but a little bit of what we were saying is unlock your knowledge, unlock your privilege to tell that knowledge, and a connection to your own gratitude of how far you've come. A lot of you are feeling, I feel a lot of you are feeling a little bit confused, a little bit lost right now, pile two. But actually, the sky is clear. It's just that you often make things a little bit more complicated than they need to be. Now, that's fine. Here's the reason why. There's a reason for that. You've actually had a really complicated life one way or another. You were living on many different dimensions and many different levels. And you've often gone deeper into experiences than other people would be willing to do. Or the other side of that is that if you've gone that way in your life, then you come completely out of it and had a little bit of a hermit type lifestyle. But you've done things on your own terms. And it's really about getting back your power. But more, pile one was more about getting back their power. Yours is about getting back your light. A lot of you have lost a little bit of your light along the way. Now, some of it you allowed people to sort of take some of your energy. And we always say here, you know, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. But that doesn't excuse a lot of the stuff that you've been through. And it was detrimental and it was sort of terrible. But reliving it as a narrative is not going to get you any further. Now, a lot of you have worked to break down that narrative so you understand how it all works, and you certainly understand how narrative works and how you can drive yourself crazy. You know, when you are feeling the way that you do, you feel the way that you do because you feel the way that you do, but you're fully aware that your energy is immersed in this energy, and that's why you're feeling that. So we don't want to make you feel any worse about that. That's totally fine. It's like people who say to people who are depressed, "Oh, snap out of it, snap out of it, you'll be fine." You know, that's just not very helpful, really, at the end of the day. For people who are feeling the darkness, feeling the heaviness, they just need empathy and support. And even if you don't know what they're going through, they don't necessarily need other people to step up and try and tell them how it is. But you constantly had people to tell you how it is throughout your life. And you've taken a lot of that stuff on board. And we've said before, and I've said in many very, very recent readings, that, you know, not to fall into the trap of like going back to heal again. There's no more healing to be done. You've done the work, you've done the shadow work, but there might be some stuff that's coming up for you to connect the dots so you can release it completely. But, you know, don't, for those of you who are feeling a little bit of dismay out there, pile two, you have the light, you have everything that you need to move forward. If stuff's coming up for you and things are feeling a bit mucky right now, It's totally understandable that you would feel the way that you do. But please, you can embrace what's going on, but try to connect the dots of what it's trying to teach you. Instead of the energy that's coming in, taking on the energy, you're like a sponge. You like take in every single person's energy. And you've worked on this your entire life, one way or another, to turn that into a superpower instead of sort of coming out of life and living the hermit life. And that's something that you're consistently working on. And this is the last part of that, is really claiming your light and your beauty and your uniqueness. And when you see it in yourself, you'll be able to see it in other people. Sometimes you get dismayed at the world. We all do. We totally do. But what you do is you take in the energy of what's going on, and then you get immersed in that energy and it pulls you down. Now, when you're in those lower frequencies, it's very difficult to get out of it, to see your own light, to be able to connect the dots. Now, Mother Gaia, your advice here, what you're being asked to do is not to take on the energy, but to acknowledge the energy that might be in and around you, even if it's dark and heavy. Again, we're assuring you that there's no healing that needs to be done. It's already done. Now, if stuff is coming up, regurgitating as it were, it just means, honestly, that there's just a little bit for you to put together, the last pieces of the puzzle. But you don't need to go deep. You don't need to take in the energy, as it were. You just need to acknowledge it. Start looking for all the pieces that you need. There's certain pieces in there. There's certain aspects of knowledge, general knowledge within what's coming up that's gonna come together and finish the jigsaw puzzle that you have, and then you can move into your light-filled space that you have in this universe. So when the energy comes up, don't immerse yourself in it, because then you feel cloudy, and then your energy's gone. You don't know what you're supposed to do, and you feel a little hopeless. You feel disconnected, right? So all you need to do is acknowledge that the energy is there. Bring in your guides and say, what is it specifically that I need to learn from this? They will be able to pick out 2, 3, 4 points right there and then that you'll be able to pick out from that deep energy. You're going to be able to expel that energy or let it move through you. And those 4 points will connect together and bring you to a new plateau of who you're supposed to be, or who you already are, just showing you that. Let's get a little bit more information. Yeah, it's about your energy here is about connecting, and it's about reconnecting in a brand new way. You've connected to other people and your environment and the universe, sort of on other people's terms, based on other people's terms. It's almost like you've seen life as a game, but you've not been the one really playing it. Other people have been playing you. Now, we want to be really clear here. You're extremely powerful. And that's one of the things that you've not really tapped into, because, if you tap into that power, you have the ability to destroy as well as gain, as well as sort of build up. And some of you might have been a little bit nervous about that. But that's fine. You've done the healing. You know that you're not going to do bad stuff in this lifetime. We all do bad stuff. We all do things that we regret. But it's not going to stop you in your tracks. You're absolutely at the stage in your life that whatever mistake that you make, first of all, won't be detrimental. But second of all, you'll be able to make amends afterwards. You're responsible for your own energy. And really, in this lifetime, that's all we can ask for. We can't ask for never ever making a mistake. We can ask for, if we do make a mistake, really standing in our own power and doing what we can to make amends. And that's what you're going to do. But there's a part of you that's still a little bit of afraid of your power, and a little bit of afraid of actually stepping into that power and making a decision about how your life is going to look, because you don't like to be, there might have been a little bit of a problem with commitment. You don't like to be bound to anyone or anything. But the one thing that you need to learn in this lifetime, and that you are learning, and this is why you're here, pal, too, is that the beautiful essence of this is that when you choose and you do commit, you actually gain freedom. And this is where you are right now. Your responsibility to freedom. You want a kind of light-filled connection in this lifetime that you absolutely have, but you've been blocking it. And the way in which you've been blocking it is because you haven't stepped into your power and you're not choosing. Because there's a little bit of a fear commitment. And, it's a legitimate fear. We get it. There's times before where you've gone down certain roads only to find out that you've really not wanted to do that, and you considered that a waste of time. Oh, I did that and I spent a year on that and now I'm not even using that. Well, that's not exactly true, because everything that you've done, obviously, along the way, you've learned certain things and it's become an experience, and that you've integrated into your soul. Absolutely. But your mind is telling you something different. If you choose it, be sure. Be sure. Otherwise, you could go off in different directions and we don't have time to sort this out. And you want this now and this, that, and the other. Don't listen to your mind. Absolutely not. You can't be sure of anything before you step. Your intuition is impeccable, but when you listen to your mind, you shut down your intuition, and then you feel cloudy, and then the lower vibrations come in, and then you feel depressed, and then you don't know what to do, and then you feel disconnected. And then, some of you might even feel a little bit grumpy and judgmental. That's the next stage. That's just a reflection of where you are because you shut off the connections. All you need to do is really get back into committing. Choose something. Choose something that you're good at. Choose something that you know that you're great at. And it doesn't even have to be specific. You can choose an element of what it is that you know you're good at. Follow the baby steps. Where do I go with this now? Lead me to my next step. But waiting until you're absolutely sure on one thing or one person, listen to your intuition. Just do the preliminary steps and move forward. That's your way to get back into your light-filled life and keep it there. You have light-filled life, and then the next day you feel a little down. I mean, you're up and down so much, pal, too. I'm surprised you don't have whiplash at some point. But to keep that energy high and dry, as we say, and keep you in that fifth dimension and keep you in that light, it's just a sense of connection, bringing back that light and bringing you back to your sense of commitment and redefining what commitment means for you. Be really honest. Commitment really does mean that you gain that freedom because you've chosen something. Yes, in previous times and also in lifetimes, you've done a lot of different things and it's led you off to a lot of different things. And that's totally fine. They were not a waste of time, but that's not where you are now. You don't want to go down this road just for the experience. Your guides understand that. They're not going to lead you down the road for any experience right now. They're going to lead you down a road that's going to bring you back to yourself. So you're not even in that point in your life, and you're judging the present moment from the way in which you've lived before. And again, that's a beautiful part of your personality, being able to sort of immerse yourself and get into different kind of experiences just because you can. A lot of people don't take the time to do that. They're driven, they're linear, X, Y, and Z. Let's do this, let's do that. You've been a little bit all over the place, but that's a gorgeousness of your personality. And it's okay for you to say, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do something different. You don't have to be linear, though. You don't have to go back into this mindset of X, Y, and Z. Take the mindset that you have, apply it to your sense of commitment, redefine your sense of commitment, unlock that door, and get your freedom. Because it's gorgeous and you're owed it. Joan of Arc, voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. Absolutely. We basically just said that. You have that warrior spirit of going in and experiencing things, and stand strong, focus on your purpose. Like we said, focus on what it is that you want. It doesn't even have to be very specific. I want to write a book. If it is, that's wonderful, do it. But I'm a writer, what is my next project? You can ask the universe to come in, but focus on your purpose. My purpose here specifically is to do this, it's to do that. I know everybody is here to experience love and to hold light, and to be part of light and experience life and experience joy and to be human, absolutely. But everybody comes in with their own unique gifts to be able to integrate into this world. You know what those gifts are. You've absolutely known it. And whether you want to admit it or not, every experience that you've been through has been honing in on that gift. Now that gift is ripened, you know what it is. All you have to do is ask for help on how to ripen that gift and give it to the world. You don't have to be specific on how that's going to look. Ask the universe to do it. But what you need to do is you need to have your voice of truth. You need to take that warrior spirit that you've always had and firmly choose commitment to something. And you can't choose commitment with the understanding that it's going to end up this way, or I will be successful, or it's going to be, no, you just have to choose it because that's who you are, and choose it because that's your purpose, with nothing else in mind, and then allow for that purpose to grow and bring in that freedom for you. The chances are whatever it is that you choose, the road that you go down will be completely different to what you think it's going to look like. And that's exactly the way it should be. But choose commitment and redefine your version of commitment. Commitment does not cancel out freedom. Look at how you've been losing aspects of your life and losing aspects of your light, we should say, that should be firmly connected to you because you've not wanted to commit. Just real talk. If you commit, you get that freedom. You get to tap into that energy of light that's already been there, that's been waiting to take off, and you gain this commitment of freedom to go in any direction that you want. But you can't have everything down. Even if you do have a vision board or something like that, which would be wonderful for you, again, trying to figure out the outcomes of how that's going to look or how it's going to come to you is remember, it's alignment, not control. In many ways, you understand what alignment is, and then you align yourself for like a couple of days. You feel the freedom, you feel great, and it's almost like you freak yourself out, and then you allow your majestic mind, your practical mind to come in and then go, all right, we did this for a couple of days, that was great, you felt great, let's get practical, let's get down, let's get grounded, let's do this, and all that mind is trying to do is control you, because at the end of the day, your soul knows it can soar. It can absolutely soar, but you have to give up that level of control. You have to get into alignment. You have to choose that commitment, and you have to just go for it. Let's do one more from this deck too. The Holy Spirit. Expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. You're being asked to really come out of this legacy of trying to control and this legacy of your fear of commitment one way or another. Some of it might be, again, these are always general messages. Some of it might be the grass is greener. If I choose one thing, I'm saying no to 50 other things. Whatever it is that your mind is telling you, right? That if you choose one thing, then it's not real freedom because then you cut off this way or you cut off this way. And, your mind isn't wrong. When you choose one thing, if there were, 10 other things going on, yeah, they fall back to the wayside a little bit. So they're not completely wrong. However, your intuition is going to lead you to the right situation for you. So you're not going down 10 different roads and wasting your time just for the experience. You don't need to do that anymore. And also really being in touch and very, very connected to the one thing that you do want will not only bring you the commitment, but will bring you other opportunities. So those other 10 opportunities that you may have said no to by saying yes to that one will bring in 10 other ways and 10 other situations that will come in and will be infinitely better for you. So it's really about tweaking the way and your relationship to commitment, and really standing in your ground. You're very strong when you commit to something. It's not that you haven't committed to something. For those of you who've had kids, for those of you who've gone back to school, the one thing that you've committed to 100%. And people always say, you're the best mother, you're the best father, you're the best parent, right? Or no one's worked harder than you when you're in school. When you do commit, you do commit. And you don't have an anti-commitment stance. It's just the way in which you see it is not working for you anymore. Now, the way in which you see it may have been good for you, as we said before, because you were one of those open people that went off to experiences and did this and did that and went into experiences that you didn't really necessarily feel that you wanted to do, but maybe you felt like you had to do them, or you didn't have any choice, or you wanted to see where it went, or nothing else is going on right now, let me do that. So the way in which you saw commitment at that time could have protected you from constantly doing that. But now you have already decided at your core, in your soul, that it's not that you don't want any more experiences. You want tons and tons of experiences, but you want experiences to choose you. And those will be much more meaningful experiences. And that sort of shifts the tide a little bit, right? But, you know, the way in which you saw commitment could have protected you from constantly going in that direction, but you're no longer in that direction. So please come back to the core of who you are. Please tweak your notion of your understanding of freedom versus commitment. They don't have to be in opposition to each other. They can be one and the same. And that will lead you to the light, that aura that you have within yourself, that you can shine in interconnectedness with every experience that you've had. You can shine out, bring in your soul family, and also move forward in a way that brings you joy and brings you connection to this universe, because your purpose is absolutely out there connecting to others and doing what it's supposed to do. I'm feeling one more card here. I want to do one of these. Let's get you one more from Mother Gaia. So it's really just your connection to commitment and committing to unlocking that light that's within you. And again, to reiterate one more time, don't worry about the healing. You're unlocking what already exists. This is a small tweak. You know, all of this change can be done in 30 minutes, meditation with your guides. Hopefully this Pal 2, this reading has helped with the healing and the activation too, to bring you some positivity and some light. And at the very least, if you're we always say, even if it's resonating, you might be at different stages of this. If you're at the sort of the dark stage where things are feeling a little bit heavy and you feel a little bit sad and you feel like you can't really get out of this energy, then we will help you move that energy up so you can pull your frequency up higher and closer to you, and see again what it is that you need to see from this energy, not take it in, but to really devise which points need to be integrated into your soul, connect them, and then release that energy for good. Let that energy flow through you instead of taking it on. It's not for you to take on anymore. Okay, Starseed, what lights you up? So that's it. I mean, what lights you up? What is it? Again, if you don't know specifically what you want to do, why are you here? What lights you up? What is your uniqueness in this lifetime? You absolutely know that. A part of you's been working on cultivating it your entire life. If that's all you know, that's what you've got. You take that to the universe. You take it to Gaia. You take it to your gods. You take it to your guides, whoever it is you work with. They're all one and the same. And you say, this is what I've got. This is my commitment to it. I'm 100% in. What do I do now? Bring in my light. I want to see that connectedness so I can use my gifts uniquely the way that I was supposed to, and really hone in on that level of integration that I've been searching for my entire life. You are a starseed. For those of you, I think this came up in Paul 1, 2, it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to really embrace the human experience. And some of you might be outwardly saying, I don't really want it, because feeling human just feels a little bit different to you. The emotionality of it could be a little overwhelming. Star seeds come in with a huge amount of emotionality. Depending what star seed you are, or any light worker, they may not have had that physicality with emotionality before, but you have been working on it. You are starting to see it as your superpower, and you are amazing at what you do, whatever it is that is. All you need is a direction, and that's enough for the commitment. The light will come back, the connectedness will come back, the connection to your own body. A lot of you need to get back grounded into your own body and see that light and pull it in, integrate it, and then pulsate it throughout the world. So that just a little click, you already have the truth, you have the strength. Go get your freedom by tweaking with your understanding of commitment, redefining it on your new terms of how you are now, and go be you. So I hope this unlocked some information for you, Pal 2, and I hope it did resonate. So if it did resonate, do let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Do feel free to give me a thumbs up, and of course subscribe and hit that bell icon, and become part of the Unicorn Light Tarot family if you are not already. And do not forget that we have more courses down below on the link for the Unicorn School of Light. And as I said with PAL 1, 2, there is one free course. We do keep the courses very very, very low payment plan because we want you to be able to afford them. But if you are being called to a course and you cannot pay that, or you cannot pay it at all, I'm going to leave my email down below. The courses are there for you to take. It's not about the money. We would rather you take the course than not take it at all because you don't have the money. It's not there for you right now. So if you feel as though you are being called to one of the courses and you really want to take it, then get in touch and we will see what we can do for you. The link is down below. All right, pile 2, go get your freedom. You know how now. So until we meet again, you stay safe and sane. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 3, if you chose this beautiful, gorgeous vintage jewelry because you are a gem, then this is your pile and these are your messages. Again, we are channeling the great mother Gaia, the original goddess, and don't forget we have extra healing and activation for you to choose any way that you want, either releasing what no longer serves you, bringing in abundance, or activation. We are using the green witchcraft tarot for your foundational messages, and then we have a slew of oracle cards on the side here, and we'll just get some organic messages for you as we move forward. So we have the King of Pentacles here, and we have the Two of Chalices, the Two of Cups here, and I am being called to the earth magic. There's a few different things going on. I just want to get one more card for you, Breach. Okay, so I'm going to do one more here too. Breath. Okay, Forest. So getting back to your organic self and getting back to your sense of hope. These are always general messages. Try to cover as much as we can in each pile. The one thing that I'm getting is there's just a loss of hope for love or connection in love for some of you at least. Now, some of you may feel as though you think that you're open, but you're in a certain way where you've been alone so long that you don't think you can let somebody in, or there's an aspect of, and again, this is a little bit of a crossover from pile 2, but very different energy, very different messages, but your energy or your connection to freedom needs to be tweaked a little bit. The idea that if somebody else comes into your life, you have to give up a little bit of your freedom, a little bit of your space. Of course, if the right person comes in, that person creates more space, creates more freedom, right? But you know, when we choose something, inevitably, there's some kind of attraction in some way. But your mind in some way has taken this to the next level. So there's been a little bit of a loss of hope. I know that a lot of people we're not necessarily in lockdown, but we're not really integrated in society in the way that we once were, like last year, for instance. So, and a lot of people are online or definitely feeling that isolation a little bit more. So that could be part of it. But, anybody that's meant for you, when your guides come and they bring you this person, it can come in a myriad of different ways, in absolutely incredible ways that only even work in the movies, I promise you. So don't sit there and try with your practical mind, I don't know how I'm going to meet this person. I don't know how I would meet this person. I don't know how I would connect with people. I don't know how I would do that right now, because what you're doing is you're getting into these lower frequency and you're losing a little bit of that light and hope. It's very understandable when we get into a situation where we're being toned down a little bit, where the universe has, because of this pandemic and everything that's going on, regardless of this being a timeless reading, this is where we are right now. And what the situation has done worldwide, universally, it's really pared everything down and made us look at the bare minimum of what it is we really need to do, how love works in our lives, what we're doing, how we were previously existing in the world, and is that the way forward, what we need to tweak with. It's given us a relationship with who we are, what we settled for, what we should be going for, and what we thought was important, right? So it's given us a scaled down version of it, and our lives are reflecting that, right? Now, you've taken that one step further, pal 3, in a way, because you've taken that scale down back, and then you've sort of boxed yourself in a little bit and start, I don't see any way out. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. I don't know how I'm supposed to move forward. Whatever it was working for me before can't work for me now, or doesn't feel right for me. I don't feel joy when I move in that direction as I may have once thought that I might. And you're taking this a little bit to heart. Now, the universe and Mother Gaia is saying, your message is, we do want you to scale back. We do want you to get to the core of who you are, to your soul, figure out what's important for you. But we don't want you to focus on the lack of what is not coming in, what's been taken away. We don't want you to focus on that, because we promise you, when you scale down and you come into the joy of who you are, it opens you up in a brand new way. And then that's when you will see the freedom before you. That's when you will see the opportunities where you did not see it before. And the opportunities will be seemingly come out of nowhere. And again, could be part of a fairy tale or sort of movie type thing where you could not have foreseen any of this coming in the way that it can. You've seemed to forgotten, some of you, how powerful your energy is and how powerful your guides are. And when you release that need to control, there's a little bit of this with Pal 1 and Pal 2 too. When you release that need to control and just release into the here and now, you gain everything back. Now, some of you have achieved, you've done a lot of the healing, and that's another thing that I've been saying, not falling into the trap of doing more healing, that the healing's been done. It's, maybe releasing old energy, or putting the dots together a little bit more so you can really feel like you've understood the wisdom and integrated the wisdom from your past and past experiences, and then releasing into who you are now and being able to utilize that wisdom and being able to release those experiences and integrate that wisdom once and for all. But for some of you, you feel as though you've done this work, you've done it, you're great, If it happens, it happens, but I don't really need it. I don't really need anyone. I don't really need this. And, deep down, you really are here to connect with other people. You are here to connect on another level. And even though on some level you might be like, I guess I would be sort of open to it, but I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm not putting any energy into it. There's many different facades. There's many different ways that you convince yourself that you're quite open, when actually you're not really being that open. You're just convincing yourself that you're that open. But what you're really doing is you're preparing yourself for understanding that you won't get it. So if you don't get it, then you won't be disappointed. So you're preparing for the disappointment by saying, I'm open, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But again, you're not choosing, you're not really being open. It's just a form of protection. And when that protection happens, it's a form of, it could be a very, very thin wall, whereas before you've spent many, many years going in and pulling down actual walls for you to get through. This is like kind of a joke. It's a thin wall. You could put your hand through it and go through it in a second. But we don't even want you to have any of those thin walls. We want you to be interconnected. And we want you to really be clear about the vocabulary that you use with yourself, being really concise and clear about what you say to yourself. How you speak to yourself is inevitably important. And be really clear and honest about when you're saying that, do you actually mean this? Are you actually saying that, but actually you mean this? And, is your wording specifically ambiguous because you don't really believe that you're going to be, that you're really going to get it? So you're protecting yourself from not really getting it. So this is all about, choosing, being completely open, and watching the language that you tell yourself, being really clear about the language that you tell yourself. If you are 100% committed to something that you want, you will get it. Will it look the same? As we said in Pal 2, no. Will they be a little bit different? No, because here's the thing. You are a bright, beautiful, divine creature. No one's saying anything different, but you don't have the objectivity that Mother Gaia does, that the universe does, that your guides do. You just don't. You're in human form. So they're going to give you what you truly deserve. Now, you may have asked for a portion of that, not even knowing that that's what you really wanted. But just by putting yourself on that gaze, by putting yourself on that path and saying, I'm fully committed to this, this is what I want, the universe will look at that and go, they're committed. We'll step up. We'll give it to her. We'll give it to them. We'll give it to him, her, them. But we will give them this because this is what they actually deserve. But they've opened themselves up to the experience. They can handle this. This is much better than what they asked for. And they don't even really know that they want this right now. But trust me, it's going to be really obvious really quickly that this is a much better fit for them. But they're open to the experience, so they're open to taking in this energy. That's it. Getting back to that openness, please, please, please get back to the vocab of how it is that you speak to yourself. You know, sometimes you can be incredibly empathic and beautiful, and the way in which you speak to other people is incredible. I mean, you are like, you know, what is it? Nurse Nightingale. I've forgotten her first name. Nurse Nightingale / Ganesha, you know, when you're speaking to other people, a little Mother Mary, Queen of Angels, sprinkled in there. I mean, you're gracious, you're empathetic, you're gorgeous, and you're kind, you're sympathetic. And when it comes to yourself, you're just horrible sometimes, Pal 3. I mean, we're just going to put it out on the table. Sometimes you can be gracious to yourself, and sometimes you're just so damn hard on yourself. And that leaves an essence. It's that essence that we want you to move through and to be cognizant of, because it's in those words that you are convincing yourself of certain things. We don't want you to feel as though you need any kind of barrier to any kind of love. You were here in this lifetime, specifically you, Pal 3, who chose this beautiful, gorgeous jewel here. You were here to experience love on all levels. And yes, that means romantic love too. And for those of you who are already in a romantic level relationship, you're going to level up in that relationship too. That sense of commitment has come to, you're still at that level of commitment with that person. And there's nothing lacking, but the way in which you see that relationship, you want something a little bit more, that connection, that look, what is it, the word that I'm looking for? It's going to come to me. That level of appreciation, whatever it is that you are in when you're in that relationship, that level of connection, of intimacy, that's it. The level of intimacy that you have will connect even more. But there's love that comes into your life. So there's soul love. On a soul level, there's romantic love, and there's soul family coming in. So this is a soul love reading coming in, and how to get all of that joy and all of that love back into you. Breathing, connection to breath, get back into your organic form, be really honest about how you're speaking to yourself, and when you use those words, what do they actually mean? And really get clear about the freedom to commit to love at all levels, knowing that you will get it. We know it's a huge thing. You've been disappointed in the past. You really have, and we totally understand that. We know it's huge for you to step up and say, I know I'm worthy of it. Most of you already know that, but a lot of you don't realize that you actually are in line for romantic love, or the soul love that you're looking for, and it will be delivered to you. A lot of you are wanting it, believe that you deserve it on some level, don't know if you're going to get it, and still protecting yourself from it. So you've got this half-arsed kind of version of you going in, one step in, one step out. Whatever it is that you want, and the love and the joy that you want in this lifetime is connected to your path and what it is, bringing in your own uniqueness and integrating that into the world so you can shine, have that connectedness, and attract those people to you. So this is a love reading on all levels. This is a love reading emanating from your soul and moving out to get you all love in every aspect of your life. Again, soul family, the love of your job, waking up every morning and being really excited to do what you do and earning money from it, being successful from it. You absolutely can do that. Nothing more for you to learn. You can do that. You just have to believe that that's in store for you to do what you really want to do. No more compromises for you. Now, for those of you who go, well, I can't just leave my job and go, so absolutely, no one's asking you to do that. But what you can do, as we said, on the soul level, is you can be really honest about what it is that you want. You can ask for it, knowing that you deserve it, and you can speak to yourself with loving words, words that don't set you up for any kind of blockage later on. And no ambiguity here. I deserve this. I will get this. And believing it. You can set up your intent right now and move forward, and the universe will deliver. No one's saying that you need to just go out and finish whatever you're doing right now. But you can move into the life that you want. For those of you who are not quite at the success level or making the money from exactly what they want to do. Anything that you do now, the experience of what you do now, even if it's not absolutely perfect for you, it may still have some gifts or some information or some lessons for you. Now, if this job does not have any of those lessons for you anymore and you've genuinely outgrown it, then you know that you are ready for the next move. And that's all you need to do with your universe, with Mother Gaia, with your guides. You need to step in, 2 feet in. Again, you don't need to know what that looks like, but you have to have that firm commitment, and you have to set up that firm commitment with the language that you use and all of the images that you have in your mind with your visualizations, and every step that you take there and for after. And have that hope. You know, for some of you, I know it's a little bit cheesy, but for some of you, I'm being told this is maybe not a message for all of you. And if it doesn't resonate, I totally understand why. But for those of you, sometimes it's good to read a cheesy, read a cheesy book, but I'm more about reading right now, so that's why the Freudian slip came out. But watching a cheesy romantic movie on the television or Netflix or whatever, just to get you back into, yes, I mean, they're very formulaic. You know how they're going to end. The good ones, you don't care how they're going to end because you know how they're going to end, but you're invested in the characters at that point. You want them to find love, right? But we want you to get into that manner of losing yourself in the possibility of all of this happening. And if that can happen through a cheesy movie, then go ahead and watch one if that brings you back to you. Let's go ahead and get you a unicorn card here, because this will be great for you. As we say before, enlighten up. So get that lightness around everything and stop trying to control and see it happen yourself. You know, you're very practically minded, but it's, you have an ethereal side to you, but then your practical side comes out and go, well, I don't know how this is going to happen. And then you sort of, you don't have to know how it's going to happen. The commitment happens first. The Christ 44 there. Open the door to the kingdom of heaven. Again, the keys of pile 2 could be here. All you have to do is open the door, and all you have to do, again, no more healing is involved. If old stuff is coming up, again, just try and figure out what it's trying to tell you. Put all the dots together, integrate the wisdom, integrate that wisdom with the wisdom that you've had from your past experiences. Let that energy move through you and release it. There's nothing more to heal from it. It's just sludge coming back, and get back into the lightness of you, the hope. Watch what you say to yourself. Absolutely. Set the intention for the world that you want to live in. Set the intention and create your real reality without any compromises whatsoever. This is all you. This is all about you. I'm going to do one more here too. I want to do the Ascended Masters card. I feel like this is going to be great for you. You have the Christ card, so your heart chakra, you should be feeling something in your heart chakra. You might be feeling something in your heart chakra too as we work on this. Just pulling out some of that doubt. And again, that's just linked to past disappointments, which they were lessons for you, and they were tough lessons. We understand that. But as you move forward, those lessons were learned. That's why we want you to integrate from the past, so you're no longer relying on the past to dictate your future. Awakening presence, the universe is with you. Wear a cloth of protection and love. Now that's what you've been doing. You've been protecting yourself so much But you know, one of my courses, we actually, I think it's the unicorn course, we actually do, you have a cloth of protection. It's funny that it came up here. Now, what we really want you to do, what Mother Gaia, the message is, we want you to protect yourself in love. And with love is connected to hope, and hope is connected to freedom. So the way in which you were connecting yourself before, it was in the sort of, not in the etheric level, in the very practical level of, just in case I don't get it, this is how I'm going to word things. So yeah, absolutely, you have this awakening presence, and honestly, you're ready to burst forward. You can already sense that you've done all this work. You're so ready for this on many levels. And you know, they always say there's a little bit of darkness just before something amazing comes into your life. So if a little bit of that doubt and insecurity comes in, I won't get this, a little loss of hope, you know, that's very much an indication of things are going to shift for you. Definitely see all aspects of your life changing, like we said, romantic, personal, interpersonal, within yourself, your auric level. And then we've got soul family coming in. And this is also career change, moving into what it is that you want to do on your own terms. And for those of you who are worried about doing it without a safety net, you have the safety net. The love and protection is your safety net to enjoy the journey. Some of you try to see and visualize the outcome. Now, you know, there's lots of different ways to manifest, and sometimes that's a good thing to do. But you know, sometimes we get attached to that outcome, and then we get sort of obsessed with that outcome, and then we sort of forget to enjoy the journey. And if it's not moving in that direction, we get a little bit sort of inflexible. So this is about opening up completely to your path and seeing where it goes, knowing that you've integrated the wisdom, knowing that you're ready, knowing that this is owed to you, knowing that you're going to get it, knowing that you've done all the work, you've done the healing to attract, and knowing it's going to be of the highest value to you, even if it looks different to you, even if you end up in a job that you didn't think that you were going to end up doing, it will be one that's worthy of you, and vice versa. So stay present and use love and the way in which you speak to yourself as your cloak of protection, instead of using your words against you just in case it doesn't work out. Keep that hope, keep that energy, and that pragmatic, beautiful mind that you have. That's gorgeous. That masculine sensibility. You would not have had that fire and passion and moving forward and doing what you did if you didn't have that masculine side. Now bring in that divine, ultimate feminine. That's why you're here, to get the messages from the Great Mother Gaia. That's divine feminine at its best. So allowing that divine feminine aspect of self to come in and really guide you and redirect you, for many of you out there in Pile 3, to a better version of what it is that you wanted. So you've got this, Pile 3. Again, just like the other piles, just a little bit of tweaking, that protection in love. And please, please, please watch what you say to yourself when you're healing your body and you're bringing hope and you're keeping hope within your body. Choose beautiful words. Make sure they resonate with you, and use these opulent, gorgeous words that really hit home with your practical mind, because those are the words that are really going to drum in that hope and that beauty and that expansiveness and get you excited and joyful for what's to come. And it's all good stuff. Okay? So I hope that resonated with you, Pile 3. I sincerely hope it did. If it did, do let me know in the comments below. I sincerely love hearing from you guys. And if you are not subscribed already, feel free to subscribe. We would love to have you here at Unicorn Light Tarot, and hit that bell icon and give me a thumbs up too. Do it all. And don't forget, we have more support and love for you down below in the Unicorn School of Light. We have several beautiful courses going on. One of them is for free. And as I've said in Pile 1 and Pile 2, we do keep the prices extremely low. But if you do feel as though that you are really called to do one of the courses and you absolutely cannot afford that price, or you cannot afford it at all, I'm leaving my email down below. Please get in touch and we'll see what we can do for you. These courses are there for you to support and be in love with who you are, and they're meant to be taken. It's not about making the money. I would much rather that you take the course, and if money is the only thing that's stopping you, then we can do something about it. So do check out the school and do get in touch if your intuition is pulling you in that direction. All right, Pile 3, I'm really excited for your beautiful future. All love in all ways. So you stay safe and sane, and until we meet again, bye-bye.